Hey y'all, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Today we are drinking Jungle Boogie out of Marz Community Brewing Company out of Chicago, Illinois. Thank you for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. We're back to do that once again and excited about it. Appreciate you checking out this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, cheers, that notification bell. We would definitely appreciate that, and it is free to do. So go ahead and do that now. I've got Andy in the attic. I've got Jay. I am Ben. What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
Before he gets to it.
Jungle Boogie.
Dun, dun. Our little symbol is much smaller than the one on Ben's picture.
Yeah. There weren't a lot of pictures of this one, and I'm too lazy to take my own picture. So, yeah.
Boom.
Somebody gave me a can that was close to exploding.
Ooh, I'm glad you opened it early. I'm going to get my prophylactic measures going.
I'm sorry,
What?
Protection from spewage, squirting.
All
Let's
right.
do that.
Prophylaxis.
Pale wheat ale.
Yes, it's an American pale wheat ale. Interesting combo.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little on the nose.
The bouquet. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Interesting.
Just going to say conundrum.
Yeah. Before we get started, I want to say a thank you to my sister who actually brought us this beer from the Chicago area. So, cheers, Amy. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you for
Thank you,
thinking
Amy.
of Ben.
Yeah, she wasn't thinking of you guys. She was thinking of me.
I was about to say, I was going to say us. I was like, you get a rat's ass.
Cheers to Amy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
As we said, this is an American pale wheat ale. The pale and the wheat together are throwing me off. I'm not familiar with the combination there. I've seen two different alcohol volumes. One said 5.4, one said 5.5, and I was trying to see if the can.
Can says
This
5.7.
can actually says 5.7.
Yes.
So it's 5.7%. We're going to say maybe 44 IBUs. And the description that they gave, I'm starting to see it. A malt character to balance the hops and fruity rooibos tea flavor. A dry hop it with mosaic. Thank goodness for the dry hops. Such a unique flavor. So, are y'all familiar with rooibos tea? Are y'all tea drinkers?
Negative.
I do not drink caffeine.
Of course, Jay's shirt says, I'd rather be drinking tea. So,
I'd rather be drinking tea. Yeah, he's a tea drinker. He's you know what? If this was Revolutionary War times, he would have sided with the crown. You know, we know Jay's type. Look at red coats, you know. Well, Jay, you're in luck because you can drink rooibos tea because it is a plant that's originally from South Africa, and the leaves are used for herbal tea, also known as bush tea, red tea, or red bush tea, and it's not caffeinated. There's no caffeine. It's herbal. So you can be a rooibos guy. The name comes from colloquial terms rui, R-O-O-I, and bos, B-O-S, means red bush. Kind of got the red hue to it. If you've ever had rooibos tea, it's got a little red hue to the tea. I'm a tea drinker. I've had some rooibos. It's all right. I would never have thought that I would ever have it in a beer.
We've had one or two other tea beers, though. I mean, we
have.
had the left hand chai tea. There was an other half, I think, that we had that had one. No, burial. I'm sorry. Right? Yes.
I remember the left hand for sure.
I remember the left hand.
Yep.
There was a burial. I know I've had it. I don't know if you guys have.
I mean, you've had so many barrels.
I could have swore that we had that one, but yeah, maybe not.
I mean, I'm not discounting that. We probably have, because we were talking earlier. We're well past 400 beers now on the show. And when you drink that much, sometimes your memory is sketchy.
And we've recorded all these within like a week. So, you know.
Yeah, not only the recording, but the editing and
the
production time. Because we have no jobs, no family, no nothing, no lakes. Marz Community Brewing Company out of Chicago, Illinois. It's a microbrewery. It's founded in 2014. The name, they didn't flat out say it, but I'm going to, take a little stretch and think it's from the president's name. President is Ed Marzewski. Marzewski. It's a very Midwestern name. I'm willing to bet a little Polish. The brewery makes small artisanal batches. The community part comes from his mom's bar, which was known as Maria's Packaged Goods and Community Bar. So originally would be he planned it to be a co-brewing space, but that idea got nixed. And that was another reason for the word community, because when he first thought, he's like, oh, co-brewing, but he's like, not going to do that. More headaches. Now, Jungle Boogie. What do y'all think when you hear Jungle Boogie?
Music.
Yeah, you start popping. The song released in 1973. What band? Oh, come on, y'all. Kool and the Gang.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, you're a music guy.
It was on the tip of the tongue. Tip of the tongue.
Oh, the tongue. Yes. Okay. So that's all I'm gonna talk about, because I want to get my nose in here. I want to drink in here. Get more flavor.
That's all we know about this beer. That's all we know about this brewery.
That's where you're ending it, huh?
That's all I got.
Okay. That's good.
All right. Who's had this one?
Have you had it, Ben?
I'm not. No.
You got another one in the fridge, huh?
It's a good question. I actually may have had this one because I got a 4-pack, and I don't think I have another one in the fridge.
Well, the way that you don't log things, we'll never know.
Yeah, don't know. I'm pretty sure I don't have another one in the fridge, because I have moved beer from one fridge to another, and I'm sitting here looking at the other fridge, and I'm like, I don't have another one of these in the fridge. So yeah, I've had this one.
A non-refrigerated place to stash it.
I don't do that. I keep everything refrigerated. So yes, I have had this one because there were 4 of them, and I don't have one left. So kudos to me. So because Jay typically feels picked on, Andy, why don't you go first?
What if I wanted to go first?
Well, It's too bad.
Do you want to go first? Because I will gladly allow you, but I'm ready to go.
Go ahead, Andrew.
This is very intriguing beer. I was, as we've mentioned before, whenever we've had wheat ales, American wheats, I don't get my hopes up for them because they just tend to fall flat. There's only been a few American wheats that I really like. After I poured it, before I smelled it, I looked at it. I was like, but they call this one American Pale Wheat Ale, and it looks more like a pale than a wheat. I've never seen a wheat that's this dark, and they say that it's got that malt character. You can definitely pick up on the malt and the fruitiness of the rooibos. You definitely get that with it, and being a tea drinker, after you drink tea, you've kind of got this sensation, this filmy feel on your tongue after having tea, and I get that from this beer actually. Um, but then it also being dry hopped, I also get that. So it is this really fun combination I was not expecting of all these flavors and sensations. I like it. It's fun. It is not your everyday beer. Now, this to me feels like a one and done type of beer. I wouldn't want to drink over and over. I might, have it, maybe have another one in, a couple of weeks just to savor it a little bit. Just a slow drinker, just to sip and savor. It's not heavy, but that's not why. It's just to enjoy such a unique taste. They did a good job. You get your pale ale, mild bitterness, but you get the malt, and then you get the wheat, the fruitiness of a wheat. And I'm just thank y'all for dry hopping. I give it a 7.5. Fun beer.
All right,
Yep.
Jay.
So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting beer. It's very complex and, like you said, kind of a conundrum in some ways. I do get that film like you talk about from the tea side. It's almost like to me, if I think of something being savory, that's how I would put this. And I agree with you. It's not something you could sit here and have a 6 pack of these or anything like that. But it definitely is a fun beer to have, one or two, and then come back to it maybe down the road. If you handed me this and said this is a pale ale, I'd probably go with that. Um, like you said, there's the malt, then you get a little bit of the fruit on the, I guess maybe the wheat side. But me, I don't. You guys know me. I don't really like the wheat beers as much. So I'm not getting a ton of the wheat beer out of this. It's more towards the pale ale or the addition of the, how do you say, the rue
Rooibos.
rooibos tea.
Mm.
I'm right there with you. I think it's a 7.5, and a good beer for such a small brewery. Um, Thanks again to Amy.
Yeah. So this one is. I mean, I've drank almost all of it. As I'm, just trying to figure it out. And as you guys have said, there's totally so much to unpack here. It's such an interesting beer and what it offers, from the malts to the fruitiness to then some of the wheat. But you know, before you said it, Andy, the I just get that film, and I was just equating it to like a you know,
Mm.
dryness on the back end, and it almost, because I'm not a tea drinker, it almost just has that tingle of, on your tongue of some sort of flavor or something. I guess that's more so the tea. Um, it's fun for sure. I mean, it's one that if you like craft beer, this is a cool one to grab and try to unpack it. If you just like drinking beer for the sake of drinking beer, you're probably not watching the show. And because we don't have many viewers anyway. You're just going out there and getting your fill on whatever you're drinking. But the fun part of doing this show is that we get to try these different things that, we normally wouldn't. I would not pick this up probably myself. There's nothing about the can necessarily that just jumps out to me as a craft beer drinker. I mean, I like it. I'm not saying I don't, but this would not be one that would draw my attention. We all have people in our life that grab beer for us because they know we do this wonderful, amazing show. And so I think that's a fun part of it too. I say all that to say this was a fun one to drink. Go grab it if you see it. Try to unpack it. Try to get all the flavors out of it. It's a lot of malty. It's a lot of tea for me. I think it's a 7 all around. It's one I would drink again. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and drink 2 or 3 of them in a row. I'm going to spread them out and drink them over the course of, one every couple of weeks, one every, once a month, that kind of thing. Which is why I drank this one and
like a month ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago, and so we've had this one a little bit. But anyway, no, I think it's a fun one. So I'll log it this time. That is going to be a 7.3 for the Jungle Boogie from Marz Community Brewing Company. Definitely an interesting beer to try to unpack, get everything out of. It's fun. If you like craft beer, this is a fun one to grab and just see what you can pull out of it. It's been an interesting one for us today. So if you see it, grab it. If you've had it, let us know what you think about it down in the comments. You can also come check us out on all the social media links down below in the description. You can come say hey in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. We do not bite most of the time. So the 3 of us are there, and the others who have joined us, and I guess some of them may have bite marks, but most of them probably don't. Lastly, check us out. If you have any interest in any Hopped Up Beer Review merch, we've got a link for that down below. You can get a shirt, you can get a glass, you can get a bottle opener, a koozie, you can get some other stuff, sticker.
What would Jay rather be doing?
I don't know.
Than drinking with us.
That
You'll
shirt.
have to figure that one out.
That shirt
We'll never know.
may or may not be.
I'd rather
be watching Hopped Up Beer Review. Yeah. There's a shirt. I'd rather be watching Hopped Up Beer.
So if you want that shirt, go look
You'll
for
see
it.
us in red now.
Yeah. We definitely appreciate you checking out our video. We have a lot of fun doing this, as you can probably tell, and appreciate any support that you can give us. For Andy in the attic and Jay, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
I'd rather be watching Hopped Up Beer Review. Said no one ever.